Welcome back to the Overwatch Open. I'm Ask Joshy casting alongside Jorisar, and we are knee-deep in a great match here between TSM and Team Liquid. TSM did take the first map on Hollywood. I feel so smart and redeemed now after all the questions Alex asked about maps and who's going to do what. And
Nailed it.
Everything's played out just like I thought it would, so feeling good about that. But we will be going to the second map here pretty soon between TSM and Team Liquid. Do you think Team Liquid can fight back?
We have a ever so slightly different map choice. I mean, we are going with Watchpoint Gibraltar, and like you said before, it's your favorite map. The mechanics surrounding the shuttle room, of course, have been a point for debate. Teams at one point in the beta were going to Watchpoint Gibraltar all day, every day. Now in the current meta, not so much. So I guess it leaves things open to potential holds, for example, there, where it's not 100% clear you're just fighting for time anymore. And as a result, it does mix things up a little bit. But bear in mind, for Team Liquid, there's no room to run and there's nowhere to hide because everything is a payload map.
Yeah, there's no King of the Hill potential to try and scrap your way back or
the Volskaya dream.
Change the battleground a little bit. Obviously, different modes, different teams are going to excel at different modes just because of their play styles and teamwork. You know, so I think Gibraltar, like you said, you used to see it all the time. I think that was when Pharah, Soldier, and Widow at various different times.
The good old days.
Were all kind of powerful. So you know, you'd have Pharahs on both sides, or you'd have Widows on both sides, and that has basically died down to, you know, very small amounts of any of those characters. But Reaper and Genji, of course, still come out quite a bit. I do still expect to see a McCree on both sides just because that range damage is so good coming out of him. And these players excel at, you know, doing a lot of damage with them. AZK, Harblue actually was the TSM McCree player for once, not Nicholas or Torque. So interesting stuff there. But we'll see, are they going to do the same thing as they did on Hollywood and start out, you know, Liquid started out with a sniper and found some success. TSM started out with Roadhog and found some success. So a couple of characters that aren't seen every match are working out for these guys.
Well, it's certainly possible to start out with a sniper on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And if JKW is giving us anything to go by, that's certainly a possibility. Looking forward to Nicholas again, potentially on Ana. I'll try not to read too much into this here because at the end of the day, we still have 10 seconds to get trolled. But ID on Zarya, I'm looking to him to really provide basically denying the opposing team the ability to snipe those heroes down from afar and really get his timings right on when people are going to be vulnerable in those positions. So looking forward to that.
That's a tough job.
It's a really tough.
You gotta be everywhere at once.
You have to be so aware, don't you?
Yeah. Super aware.
So we'll see how well they do.
All right, so on the side of the defense, we will take a look real quick. It is going to be the McCree Reaper combo from AZK and Kefri once again, not sniping with Widow. JKW did have Widow hovered, but actually ended up on that Reinhardt, which he typically plays. And the first checkpoint, of course, they get extremely swiftly. This is nothing crazy. Pretty much all the defenses allow that first point to be taken because now that the payload is down in the middle of this pit, it's much easier to defend against. No spawns have changed, so defense doesn't have to worry about a longer run back or anything like that. But now they are going to move forward and try to get some damage in. But Torque has Reinhardt and Reaper cornered. Mezer and Kefri both go down very quickly.
So difficult to sort of be maneuverable and actually find those hitboxes in such a confined space, especially when Torque is just jumping all around you as well. So that was an excellent hit from TSM to start things off here. Harblue and Shake both on fire and about 3/4 of the way through to getting a whole hog as well. So that's going to bode them well in the shuttle room if they actually need to push back. And now we have a very aggressive push in from Torque, trying to clear the way, trying to make sure the enemy team are not all bunched up and coordinated.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier about the last week's competition having 21 out of the 22 heroes. I haven't seen a Torb or a Bastion yet, which is actually a little surprising. But we've seen almost every character that I can think of.
Have we seen a Hanzo?
We did see a Hanzo. I cast a Hanzo where they basically just used him at the beginning of King's Row, fired a scatter shot and a Sonic Arrow, and then backed off and played Zen. But either way, we get the whole hog ultimate coming out from Harblue, just gets blasted down.
Half a hog, really.
By Kefri. It was partial hog.
Partial hog.
Mini hog. Torque on that Genji, of course, is just going to back off as the rest of his team starts to die off. He doesn't have to sacrifice himself. He's Genji. He can just leave.
Excuse me while I exit stage left. There's a button I click for that. That's pretty useful. All right, Meza coming up now behind the rest of the team, but he will be able to get in front to shield soon enough. Liquid looking to repel this once again. There are 3 ultimates available, and Nicholas as well with the nano boost, and that could end up on Torque because we do have Dragon Blade available as well, so that could end up being extremely, extremely powerful in this situation. The verticality of the shuttle room tends to be quite interesting. There's Short, and yes, there's Nicholas. That's got to be a nano boost on the Genji.
Yeah, it's the new combo, basically. Instead of the Graviton Surge Barrage of days of yore, now it's the Dragon Blade and Nano Boost working together so well. And of course, they're able to coordinate this because Nicholas and Torque have been playing together in different games for years and years. These guys basically know what the other is going to do before they do. So it's very interesting to hang here on Liquid, trying to just stay alive long enough for some teammates to show up, as they have pushed them all the way to the spawn. Incredibly fast push here through the shuttle room, but Tahang is going to stall out just for a moment, using the Transcendence, sure to fall pretty quickly after, but the Sound Barrier comes out long enough. The supports actually last long enough for everyone on Team Liquid to come in and use their ultimates. AZK getting a couple of kills there, so good stuff from Liquid. I actually thought they had no chance there, but great coordination. I don't know what TSM was doing, where they just stopped watching the doorways or something. Once Zen got onto the payload, they just assumed they had it, I suppose.
Exactly. I think they sort of went into a situation where you're like, haha, that's cute, you pop Transcendence, we're going to wait a couple of seconds in, absolutely bust a cap. But guess what happened? Very, very nice from AZK. Really just a bit of a stall diversion tactic there, and Liquid are able to stall this for a bit longer. And that's good, because so far the time has been set. It's been pretty competitive today.
Yeah, they very nearly blazed through that shuttle room, and the fact that now they have the longest run back while the defense has the shortest run back is certainly going to come out into play. But Harblue on that Roadhog, again with the Whole Hog ultimate, only 30 health on this guy as he pops his ult and gets a couple of kills, or at least a couple of assists. Now they have officially entered the final stretch here. It is just kind of an S-curve through to this last straightaway. You can see AZK running to perhaps switch characters, as I'm not sure why else he would be sprinting back to the spawn like that, but we'll find out soon if he's going to make a switch or if he's just posting up behind his tanks or something like that. Shake does have Transcendence available as they move forward. Typically, the defense is going to allow the payload to push up to about that corner area, so the offense can't get free shots on them.
And speaking of changes, AZK might be running back to spawn, but it's actually Kefri that's going to be transferring onto Widowmaker for this last point. So very eager to see how this ends up doing. For the second map, there were excellent flashbang on top of Reinhardt there.
Sleepy
Not
Reinhardt.
quite able to get the kill.
Yeah, look at the sleepy Reinhardt just napping on the job. Typical Reinhardt. AZK is going to use that Deadeye, perhaps find a kill, but no, Harblue actually gets the hook on him before he can even pull the trigger, and that uses only half the ultimate, so AZK almost already back to Deadeye. That's insane, actually. McCree is the one character that has so much contention, because canceling Deadeye and getting 50% back in all these various situations, you can see he gets it back so quickly. It's just a matter of seconds for AZK to return.
Torque just resetting, by the way, and he's going to be moving on to McCree by the looks of things. So we'll see how he goes there. Kefri now getting a very nice perch spot and managing to get a small hit off on Reinhardt, but nothing life-threatening. Fortunately, the life there is pretty large. Nicholas again has Nano Boost available. Now, he's trying to use that to as great effect as possible, but realistically, we need to see some serious killing. That is a very good start, though, with that Graviton Surge. Can they make it count? Wow, what an Earth Shadow.
And great Flash and Fan coming in from AZK, just spreading damage all around. Mezer gets the bulk of the kills, and Kefri sitting safely far away by the payload there is able to get a killing blow on Harblue. Harblue did switch off that Roadhog onto D.Va, and Torque is now on the McCree rather than that Genji. So attacking into this final stretch, they've had a couple of character switches, so I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to capitalize on that. Nicholas does have the Nano Boost. He pops it there on who actually was the recipient. Is that Reinhardt actually just flying forward there, swinging his axe? So it must have been. The coloration is not as clear in the spectator mode.
No, not particularly. It's it can be a bit subtle sometimes, but a good spot on that. He does manage to at least get himself positioned very, very far forward. Transcendence coming out now on the side of Liquid. Just trying to push this back a little bit, and Nick and Torque both going down. Oh wow, AZK. I want to know what this guy had for breakfast.
Cereal.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
That's a great ad. I'm having cereal tomorrow. Done.
Cereal, just any brand.
Any brand.
Yeah. Harblue running forward as the suitless D.Va. They're not even going to kill him. They're not even going to allow him to die so that he can rejoin his teammates. They're just going to slowly let him run up to the payload before taking him out, because they don't want it to stop rolling backwards, which it did. Harblue did achieve something with his life before going down there.
And the Bunny Blaster is a deceptively high DPS as well.
Definitely kill something.
Yeah, you can't let D.Va just run in like that in perpetua. You just need to make sure that you don't die. So every second does count, though. It does take quite a while. And D.Va coming up, pushing people off the top there. Torque managing to get Kefri with the Deadeye, and that is a good bit of covering fire removed for Liquid. AZK trying the best to make the work, but it's quite clear that D.Va is on duty here to try and zone him out.
Harblue not only stopped the Deadeye, but actually got the kill there with his ultimate onto AZK. So Harblue able to watch those doors with Defense Matrix up. That's great stuff there from TSM. They're going to set, again, Not the best time ever. I'll say it's pretty average. TSM, I would say maybe even a little slower than their Hollywood performance, but
Sure.
Team Liquid certainly could beat it with just, if they can get through that first point as quickly as TSM did, they'll definitely have a chance. But that shuttle room was just basically told the tale of this whole attack for TSM. The fact that they didn't get it right at the last second, Dehang was able to pop his Transcendence and allow AZK to come in, use that Deadeye, and kill everybody, basically stalled them out. That could be another minute on the board that they could have had.
Do you find you get that quite often with Watchpoint Gibraltar, where a lot of the time a team that looks like they're about to steamroll through the shuttle room or any other point, just about to make it, and then the last second collapse hold actually turns into quite a couple of minutes of stalling there. Is that one of the main reasons why Watchpoint Gibraltar has stopped being the main staple of maps that teams are choosing these days?
No, honestly, I still think it's just the meta, the fact that Pharah and Soldier are not as good as they used to be. So
and they are fantastic on this map.
We're
if you
actually
allow them
seeing
to roam.
Nicholas pick Soldier. I think this is the first time I've seen Soldier all day. So we're filling out the cast again of how many characters we've seen throughout the day. But
nice.
Yeah, this is the first Soldier appearance. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Nicholas and Torque aren't. I mean, if you're going to use Soldier, why not use Widow? Is almost the question at this point on defense.
Well, you're certainly going to get a lot of covering fire sort of with people sneaking around the corner, but like you say, Widowmaker might be able to make some of those picks as well. I guess maybe Soldier 76 will have just a little bit more healing, and at the end of the day, if you want a bit more DPS in addition to McCree, maybe they find Soldier just a little more versatile here and able to run between places, but then again, you've got Widowmaker's hook for that. So,
yeah,
no, you're
we'll
right.
See,
It's just a straight-up personal choice, maybe.
Yeah, pretty soon here we're going to see. I know that Nicholas plays a mean Widow, so that's why it's a little puzzling to me. But we'll see. Soldier was slightly nerfed. The fact that basically you have to have a little bit of damage spread between burst fire as compared to previously, where you could literally just hit scan the entire time if you clicked properly.
Yep.
It is a little bit of a nerf. He's incapable of doing as consistent damage as he was before. But Widow, I mean, you click on them, they're going to die, so it's very interesting.
I hear that's useful.
Kefri is laying into Harblue already. Harblue on his signature Roadhog once again. I'm sure the only other character we'll see on him is probably Diva a little bit later on. But JKW as the Winston on defense back here is kind of interesting. Not Zarya, not Reinhardt, not a frontline tank at all. Who is he looking for? Is he looking for Kefri? If he is, why isn't he going to kill him right now?
I like how he's using the bubble up top as well to try and negate the line of sight from Widowmaker and just make Kefri a little bit more frustrated too. So that's really good. Dehang getting a kill off on JKW though, but not before JKW manages to pick off Junkrat in return. I think we kind of need to point that out.
Nicholas already off the Soldier onto Tracer.
That was
quick. One death, yeah. I really have to, I'm going to have to ask him, like, what's the thinking there, but it's gone so quickly. The payload's already around the corner, but I got to say, Team Liquid not making the push that TSM did. TSM was able to wipe them much faster than this on the first point, so already time working against them. Kefri trying to find some targets, can't do it through the Winston shield. The whole hog is going, but Kefri is going to be able to hit him as he's slowed down during that ultimate.
And this is maybe taking a lot longer than they otherwise expected here. They need to try and push this forward, and they need to make sure they don't get held again at this point. TSM, though, with 4 out of 6 dead at the moment, will allow Liquid to comfortably move up, so that is a good sign for them. And now we reach the shuttle room. Kefri on top of the shuttle, Widowmaker.
I mean, if he can get there, it's definitely a nice place to be. Nicholas, the defense typically is going to make more use of the shuttle just because they can watch all 4 of those entry doors. If the Widow goes up on the offense, you really only have the 1 door that you can watch. I mean, he's going to do it, because why wouldn't you if you're still on Widow? That is the thing to do. But you can hear the high noon coming out from Torque. Is he going to find any kills? We'll see in the kill feed shortly. It looks like he's going to not be able to get anything. Transcendence going out there for the defense as well.
And that's the danger when you have a big brawl underneath as well. Kefri on top of the shuttle, basically a passenger as he watches all the ultimates go down below, and it's like, I need to get a clean shot on someone. But he's looking to rejoin the action now. Nicholas back on Soldier 76, so that wasn't the last we were going to see of him. And at the moment, he's actually doing a great job of some damage. Takes out 2 before Meza finally kills him with a Fire Strike.
It is interesting. Soldier can just push out consistent damage. Obviously, the Biotic Field can heal a group of players, almost act as like a half support as well. So obviously, Soldier still has some merit, but I'm just curious, you know, I want to know what successes he's had in comparison to other characters that has led to the decision. But Kefri still on that Widow, still finding picks from time to time, at least pouring in some damage as they run in through that single small choke. He can always just shoot away at the Reinhardt shield as well. Does not get the headshot on the super slow McCree. That's a bit of a whiff there for any self-respecting Widowmaker, but it looks like the High Noon didn't really do much anyway.
And there are actually no ultimates left available on either team. And Nicholas, well, he manages to get up to 2 Visor. I guess that's useful. Unfortunately, dies about a second before that happens. Dahang with Transcendence, and Harblue now going to be grabbing a new suit potentially too. And no, even with the ultimate available for the last point, Nicholas switching over to Reaper.
The Earth Shatter in that room was so big, and we unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it, but Mezzer finally landed the meaty Earth Shatter, and we saw AZK run up and get a couple of assists off of that. You can hear the High Noon happening now from the side of the defense, and it sounds like the offense. Torque and AZK, no, actually not AZK. He did not have his ultimate. Harblue does have a D.Va ultimate available, which of course we talked about earlier is much shorter now. Does not kill the D.Va.
Oops. Oh,
landed
wow.
it around the corner and still got 2 kills.
I genuinely thought because it landed around the corner, it might not get. It
Do you think he knew? They're going to see this and flee, and I'm going to get them around the corner.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
If he actually distanced that perfectly, or if he's done this before, because that ledge to the other ledge.
Oh, he would have done this before.
Is a set distance, you know.
Yeah.
That's very good play out of Harblue. That was really cool.
Nice. That's really well planned. At first, it looked like, oh, we've overshot that. But no, we haven't. That's very deliberate. Really cool stuff. And now using Defensive Matrix around the corner to great effect here. Looking for opportunities to pop in, trying to get ID on Reaper. A little bit more squishy, and actually following him around as well. Will successfully take that kill. Liquid now looking to move on in, but unfortunately losing the tank there makes this significantly more difficult.
It's interesting, D.Va's resurgence has a lot to do with her defense matrix and with the ultimate being much better, but the fact is with Zenyatta's resurgence too, D.Va can just lay into someone with an Orb of Discord on them and actually just erase them. So can be very devastating. We saw Harblue there, even with super low life, able to get a couple of assists. Kefri now taking some shots up on the high ground, which is interesting. They're probably not going to jump down until the payload's just below. You can hear High Noon going out on the side of the defense. You can see him up there. Does find a kill on AZK before he's able to use his own. Good stuff there, as the offense is going to be thwarted a bit. Time is starting to work against Team Liquid a little bit. They got to this point pretty quickly, but only about maybe 2 minutes left before they are going to lose this map.
Yeah, they need to really step up a gear a little bit. Oh, and Kefri actually dying very, very quickly there.
Another D.Va ult.
Yeah, this is really tricky.
Does catch Kefri. Oh, actually, he already killed Kefri. Never mind. The D.Va ult basically just caused them to scatter, which is still useful, of course. Keeping them off the payload. They're not able to just sit there and take it, so Harblue does force them back, gets his suit back, of course, if it was damaged. That's a nice heal as well, using that ultimate. AZK does have his Deadeye available. D.Va's going to make life very difficult, though, for him to try and land a nice ultimate.
Being able to use the defense matrix around a corner means that the enemy isn't just peeking around the corner anymore. If they want to do more and they actually want to fully engage, the first thing they're going to spot is something that stops all the projectiles. Very annoying, because you can't actually shoot D.Va in the meanwhile as well, so just a great position for that hero to be in.
Yeah, good stuff here from the defense. Time is starting to tick down now. Liquid looking a little bit desperate. They do have several ults available. This is going to have to be their opportunity. ID with that Death Blossom can just teleport on top of the defense, drop down, potentially get several kills. Here comes the Transcendence. It sounded like a Death Blossom, yeah, from Nicholas. ID as well used his, and it looks like ID is going to get a couple of kills. Joe Meister, Torque, and Nicholas all down now. JKW down, and this could be Liquid's basically perfect opportunity. Harblue down to very low life, pops his ultimate and gets that health refill, but immediately loses the suit as he is outnumbered.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little unfortunate. Nicholas now moving on to Tracer. It looks like we're just trying to stop this as much as possible. Liquid doing their best to push on in. This is
very close.
Wow.
It looks like they beat the time. If I'm correct, I think they beat it by about 20 seconds. So we'll get confirmation from the admins, but I believe Team Liquid is fighting back now. I think we're going to see a game 3.
Yeah, this is that push looked very dedicated, I would say. Team Liquid really had to push forward. I mean, it's not quite all in, but you put yourself in that position with the payload that, you know, if this doesn't work and you get a couple of people picked off very, very quickly, then it's just too far to walk back, and you're sacrificing like 30 seconds, and that is as good as the map is gone. So Liquid really had to commit there, and I thought they did quite well.
Yeah, it's interesting. The defense can actually stall for a very long time at the end of Gibraltar if they manage to pick off 1 or 2 attackers. Let's say it's 4v6, and things are going bad for the defense. There's enough characters that can return to the payload quickly. Tracer, Reaper, Winston, D.Va, all can just flood that point for so long that it's interesting that TSM actually did get wiped out and was unable to contest for longer. But But I believe, are going to Game 3, and it's another payload map. This we noted earlier that this is possibly the first time today that we had 3 payload maps as the selection. So no King of the Hill this time around, but with each team taking a map. That's pretty interesting. We thought maybe TSM 2-0 here, just because on paper they have the most points. Liquid coming in fresh, basically. So
yeah,
kudos to Liquid for making it happen. Kefri, I think, again, was a big push there.
And, just to give credit to TSM as well, Liquid won that map, but also bear in mind the time was very, very tight. So it's great to see them taking it all the way to TSM. We're going to be back very shortly with game number 3 between these two teams, who is going to be progressing to the next round of the North American Overwatch Open. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes.